So here's a thought, actually. You had me thinking here about how to get the Rev G20 to work with the preamp and power amp properly through IRs on the Helix through the hardware. So this is what I came up with, and I'm going to try this later when I'm actually done the job I'm supposed to be doing. Anyway, this first path here, make this sort of like the normal effects loop path. So I have like a pitch, a drive going into the front of the G20. So this is my send, and then it comes back in through here, and then I'm gonna have effects after if I wanted to, and then it goes out my 1/4 inch and then back into the return loop of the G20. So that just works as normal. The way we were talking here on this Facebook post is that if you had it go through the IRs, it would go back into the return with the IR tone and then out the power amp section with the IR tone. Might not sound bad, but maybe not traditional, but this is an interesting thought. And I've sort of used something similar to this before, but I'm gonna try this. I think it might be cool. So this loop, exactly like I said, goes out the 1/4 inch, but then come out the XLR 2 notes in the G20 and come back in the mic input of the Helix, set path 2 to the mic input, and then so now you have the XLR, which is everything with the Helix loop and the power amp coming back into the Helix. Set your IRs as you need them to, and then set the output path of path 2 to XLR, and that can go into your interface, and it can go in stereo. I have mine going in stereo as well. So now you can maybe even put some delays after the IRs, and you can have them stereo coming out as well. But the key is that you have to have the output path 1 to your XLR to complete the loop coming out of the way you have your loop set up with the XLR, and then you're coming back in from the 2 notes into the Helix through the mic, through your IRs that you can change, and then you have to make sure that this output path is your XLR. So you have 2 discrete paths, guitar going in through all your effects loop stuff into the G20, and then path 2 is the XLR 2 notes from the G20 coming back into the Helix through the IRs, out your XLRs. This would get around what you're trying to do, which is bypassing the power amp, sending the IR tones through the power amp. And what I was previously doing was bypassing the power amp and having the preamp come through the IRs and then out to my interface, so I didn't have the power amp side of the tone. But I think this might actually complete all of the paths successfully. I'm gonna give this a shot after work.